11 studios. It's Great Day Houston. And now, here's your host, Deborah Duncan.
That's what you heard all that craziness for. A little later in the show, we'll find out what makes Sam Houston State a great place to get a higher education. All right. Settle down over there. Well, our first guest today made good use of his schooling. He went to college and then on to law school, Oxford University. However, his true gift wasn't something that was taught, but rather inherited. He is a psychic medium who uses his abilities in and out of the courtroom. His new book, Never Letting Go, focuses on the ability to heal after losing a loved one. Right now, Mark Anthony is hoping to help some audience members communicate with the so-called other side. Please welcome him to the show this morning. Good morning.
Thank you. Thank you, Deborah.
As you know, in this area, there are a lot of people who are full-on skeptics, who don't believe in this at all, and there are others who truly believe in this. Let's start with a couple of definitions. First, psychic, medium. We interchange those words sometimes, but do they have a little bit different meaning? They
do. It's all about tuning into frequency and energy alignment. A psychic tunes into the energy of a person, place, or thing, which is how he or she can talk about your past, present, future, love life, career, so on and so forth, health status. What a medium does is we tune into the energy of a third party, which is a spirit. And every psychic does not necessarily have mediumistic ability, but every medium does have psychic ability.
All right.
So that's why some people strictly say they're a psychic, and those of us that are mediums say that we're psychic mediums.
Okay. There are many psychics or mediums that I've interviewed before who say sometimes it was a gradual thing that happened to them.
Right.
Others say it was always a part of my life and my family's life, and so it seemed normal to me. This is your, what, fourth generation that this gift has been passed down?
Yes, that we're aware of. I've tracked it back to around 1900 on my father's side of the family and back into the 1890s on my mother's side of the family. So it appears to be what's known as a recessive trait. A dominant trait is like being right-handed, maybe having, you know, my family, curly hair, brown eyes. Recessive traits would be things like being left-handed. It may be unusual abilities like psychic and mediumistic gifts. And so both of my parents had that recessive ability.
Yeah. Did they share that with you?
Well, when I was about 4 years old, I started having the invisible friends. I started talking to people, and I wasn't chastised for it, which was really great because both of my parents could see my friends too. Yeah. But they were very clear about. I know. It was
sharing with your parents. Yeah.
Sharing with your parents.
And do you still have invisible friends?
Oh yeah,
lots
of invisible friends.
Okay. What does that look like? Because in a minute we're going to start reading some folks in the audience. What does it look like? Do they look as clear as you and I sitting here, or is it kind of like how Hollywood depicts it, that kind of, you know, transparent person, or is it just an energy you feel?
Hollywood tends to make things scary because scary sells tickets to movies. I don't look at it as scary. I look at it as a gift from God. It's very inspirational. And how they look, generally, I see them as if they were a very vivid memory in my mind. So I see them in my mind's eye. That's what's
just like if we said to everybody, picture the Statue of Liberty. We could all picture it.
We can all visualize it. Yeah. And that's what's known as subjective clairvoyance. In other words, I see it, it's unique to me. Whereas objective clairvoyance would be if a spirit appeared and more than one person sees it. And I've been in that situation, which is really quite fascinating. I study this as a science because I believe that through understanding, Deborah, we're going to remove the fear and the superstition surrounding this.
Yeah, you've also used that ability in your practice of law.
Yes.
Have you helped solve unsolved murder cases, or how have you used it?
I've been consulted by both military intelligence and police on missing persons and on cold cases. I prefer to work with people, helping make connections between them and loved ones on the other side, because I believe that spirit contact is a very important tool in healing from grief. Yeah. Because, you know, Deborah, when the worst fear, I think, that when a loved one dies is that they've just disintegrated into nothingness. Everything that he or she was no longer exists. And what I've found is that being able to connect with spirits on the other side proves to us God exists. heaven exists, and our soul is an immortal living spirit. And quite frankly, I think one of the happiest things that mediumship can do for you is to let you know that when it is your time to cross into the light, you're going to see your loved ones again.
All right. Are you getting any feeling from our audience right now?
I'm getting lots of feelings. It's college week. Are we getting some feelings? See, this really is a great day, Houston.
Yeah, yeah. All right. So it's like is somebody coming over?
Absolutely. And am I able to get up and talk to them? Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to open up to frequency. I'm going to be drawn to certain people, or I may describe a spirit. All right, I'm immediately getting the spirit of a female coming through. She was an older woman, and what I'm getting with her, she was darker complected. I'm feeling there was almost like a paralysis down one side of her body, because I'm feeling a drooping in her face. I'm also feeling blockages in her heart and difficulties breathing in her lungs. So her passing was long and slow and declining. I'm also getting that there was swelling in her feet, which would indicate that there were problems with circulation. Does this make sense to anybody? Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
Okay.
My great-grandma.
Your great-grandma?
Yeah.
Okay. And did she get to the point where she couldn't even use her hands prior to passing? Because I'm getting, in my right hand in particular, very difficult to manipulate and grasp things.
I think she has like paralysis or something.
That would do it.
Yeah.
Okay. She was very much a woman of faith. And when I say a woman of faith, she's showing me a Bible. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that she was a zealot about it. She didn't wear her faith on her sleeve. She walked it, she talked it, she actually lived it.
Yeah.
Okay? And she set a really good example. And I know that everybody's granny was a great baker, and I know earlier we were talking about strawberries, but I keep seeing strawberry shortcake and strawberries and whipped cream. Does that make sense to you in any way?
She loves to bake.
She loves to bake. There you go.
She loves to bake, yeah.
All right, but what about strawberries and whipped cream? And it doesn't necessarily have to be with her. It could have relevance to you as well.
I don't know.
Now,
Think
are
about
you getting
that.
the picture of strawberries and cream, or is she telling you, asking about the strawberries and cream?
Yeah, she's saying, ask him about. And here's the thing, don't worry about that, because a lot of things that come through in a reading don't make sense to the recipient right away. You need time to think about it, because you may need to talk to your mom or some other family members who'll do that. Hold on, let me get back to her now. All right, one of the things that she really likes about you is that you're a good mix of analytical ability and compassion. And she says this is a trait that you got from her. Okay? And she says...
Okay, she's surprised by that. Why are you surprised by that?
It's something that our family says a lot. Like, you got this from me. You got this from my side of the family. So this is kind of interesting. The thing is, I didn't really know my great-grandma.
She knows you.
She knows me, though.
And see, what happens is, you know, you're a family. You are energetically connected to her through the power of love. So she is aware of you, even though you may not have met her in this particular life.
Right.
Okay? Now, the other thing she says about you is you're kind of a clean freak.
I am. Call my mom right now.
It's like you can't stand having dirt on your fingernails. You can't stand things being cruddy. She says you will not go to sleep until your kitchen is clean.
Right.
You cannot handle having a dirty kitchen. That's another thing you got from that side of the family. She's giving you a major thumbs up. Now, I'm getting pulled into what I call the Gemini time frame. Okay. I'm not really an astrology guy, but and I'm not sure why, but spirits like to give me time frames. So we're going, the Gemini time frame is give or take a day or so from about May 20th to June 20th. Does that time frame have a significance to you in any shape, form, or fashion? Does that make sense to you? Yes. It does, okay?
Okay.
Hold on, we're getting pulled over to you.
And me. We got two.
Oh,
so it's four people because it's twins and twins, right? The Gemini twins.
Okay, how does Gemini make sense to you?
Well, that's my mother, but...
Is she on the other side?
No. She's
here.
alive.
Hold on,
she's very
Somebody
well alive.
may want to talk to her. Is her father on the other side?
No, her sisters.
Her sisters, okay,
Yes.
because there's a male energy coming through, which may be a grandfather figure, and what
Yes.
I'm getting about him, very military, very precise.
Firm.
I'm sorry.
Very firm. He was very firm. My grandfather.
Very firm.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm getting this guy that's coming through like with the flat top haircut, and he was physically a powerful man when he was alive, and he had really good posture, and he stood up very straight, and he always liked people to be forthright and never to equivocate on things. In other words, mean what you say what you mean, and if people don't understand you, then boop them, okay? No stranger to colorful metaphors, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Month of July. What's significant about the month of July for you?
It's my father's birthday.
Your father's birthday.
Yes.
Ah. Okay. Now, the man coming through, is this your father's father?
That's my father's father.
There you go. So he's referencing, what he's doing is he's giving us a piece of evidence to validate that this is your father's father. Now, interesting. Interesting. He likes the relationship that you and your father have, okay? And what's really cool about this relationship, I know that there's the father-daughter relationship,
Yes.
but the way the two of you interact is almost more like father-son, because it's your logical thought processes, and your dad really enjoys your dad really enjoys being able to talk to you on a one-on-one, and he's always considered you an equal and a worthy successor. Your grandfather's totally loving this. Now, the thing, though, is your grandfather, when he was here, was something of a chauvinist, so he wouldn't have understood that so much here in the material world, but from the other side, he does. So you're getting a big thumbs up from the other side.
All right, you got a big thumbs up on that one. Mark will continue to do readings after the break, but this topic is also the subject of today's Facebook question. We want to know, have you ever received a message that you believe came from a loved one who has already passed over? For example, I was told that my son has lots of guardian angels who are watching him. And as we were talking about that story, my son got out of the car, and on the floor of my car was this little coin with an angel on it right there. We found that in the car, and so that was, I have no other way to explain that. Log on and let us know your story, and we'll share some of your comments a little bit later on in the show. We'll be right back. Welcome back. We are back with the psychic lawyer, Mark Anthony. He is also the author of the book, Never Letting Go. He's a psychic medium who has had this gift since childhood. All right, so are you feeling other spirits who are wanting to come through?
I always feel spirits. And
You're never alone.
You know, it's funny, a lawyer that sees dead people, I'm a natural at Halloween, all right? So, but I don't look at this as a spooky or scary thing. I look at this as a healing process, and, you know, my book, Never Letting Go, is about healing grief with help from the other side.
Yeah.
So that is the whole point of mediumship, is helping people understand not only that life is everlasting, but that love transcends physical death.
Because that's the tough part when you lose somebody you love.
Sure.
And is that the finality of it.
Yes.
And we all would like to believe that one day I'll see you again, or that you are okay. And that's what you kind of explain in this book.
Well, we all want the last scene from the movie Ghost, you know, where Patrick Swayze's kind of going in the light, and he's like, bye, Whoopi, bye, Demi.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what we want. And in a sense, that's what we get. It just may not be as blatant as that. And when you accept the reality that life is everlasting, I mean, every faith tells us that the soul pre-exists the body. What does quantum physics tell us? Energy is neither created nor destroyed, only transferred. I don't think that science and faith are mutually exclusive. I believe that they're on the same page, and we're just now beginning to understand this.
All right. Who's coming through?
I think I'm getting drawn to you. There's a male energy coming through, okay? And he's very close to you emotionally, and I'm getting this piercing sensation right here in my chest. Does this make sense to you? Okay. And there was a lot of issues going on with him physically prior to passing, and I'm also getting this dizzy sensation, which indicates to me that prior to passing, he was having difficulty maintaining his mental focus and clarity. Does this make sense to you? Okay. Also, his foot. Something about one of his feet. It feels like it's really swelling up and getting hot to the touch. Does that make sense? That does? Okay. He says he was really a lousy dancer, but you get all the credit. What's up with that?
That was Yeah.
Okay. You understand it. Okay. And as long as you understand it, that's all that matters. Now, I know everybody likes ice cream, but he keeps showing me ice cream cones, specifically with the sugar cones. He couldn't stand those regular, he said the ones that taste like styrofoam he didn't like. What's up with what's up with that?
Sugar. Liked a lot of sweets.
Oh, he liked a lot of sweets. Okay, he's going right for the sugar cone. Yeah.
Straight to.
Do you like butter pecan ice cream by any chance?
Yes,
Yes.
he did.
Okay. Yeah, because I'm tasting butter pecan. All right.
You know, and I gotta say,
Yeah,
that's
he
not
did.
the typical ice cream that someone would choose. So, when you came here today, do you believe in psychic mediums?
I'm not sure.
But now, is it starting to change your mind?
Yes.
And he's
Most
showing me an
definitely.
image of Archangel Michael. Now, this could be a reference to the name Michael or a reference to angels and the protective energy of angels. Does this make sense to you?
Yes.
In what way, yes?
I have a close friend that's named Michael.
There you
and
go.
I share.
And that's your confidant that you share your
Yes.
feelings and your grief with.
Yes.
Yeah, he really likes this relationship with Michael, and he says there's a lot of music attached to that relationship as well, because I keep seeing sheet music. Does this make sense to you?
Not right now.
Okay, did he play music?
No.
All right, I may be segueing into somebody else. Does
Well,
that
they
make
say
sense
there's a
to
rock
you?
and roll band
A
in
lot
heaven.
of music.
So.
All right, the person coming through that may be with you, I'm sorry, I'm just segueing. All right, I'm getting a female energy coming through, and with this woman, I'm getting a piercing sensation on my head, which could indicate like either a stroke or a rapid, unexpected passing. Does this make sense to you in any way?
Not entirely, no.
All right, you say not entirely. In what way does it?
I mean, my grandmother passed away, and that'd be about it.
How did she pass away?
She actually died from diabetes and just complications with her body, so it passed away.
Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Interesting. I almost wish you hadn't told me about her complications. And the reason I'm saying that, and this can sound corny, I'm hearing, you ever see the Disney movie Pinocchio? I remember when he jumps off and goes, I got no strings to hold me down, da-da-da-da. Okay, what she's doing is letting you know, and it's very important that you understand this, that she's no longer suffering from any physical disabilities. And I see her surrounded by an orb of white light, okay? Now, she keeps showing me birds, lots of birds, like canaries and small birds. Do birds in cages or birds make sense to you in any way?
Not really.
It's going to later on. All right, let me take a pass on that. And the reason is, a lot of times these things make sense. But your grandmother keeps showing me like little tiny birds, finches, canaries, things like that. Does this make sense with anybody else? Oh, this makes sense with you. All right, sorry. We're back to you. So I guess your grandmother just wanted to pop in and say hello. Yeah. All right? The other thing is, do you like bananas? Do you eat a lot of bananas and potassium type things?
Yeah, I eat healthy, so that's part of my diet.
Hello. Okay, so back to you. How do the birds make sense?
Parakeets.
Parakeets. Okay, parakeets in cages. All right, so he's not done with you just yet.
Yeah, I was gonna. Does it make you feel better?
A little bit. And the sudden death, that was my mother.
Okay, all right. Now, he's pulling me into the Capricorn time frame, which would be from you're smiling. Okay, how does that make sense?
Me.
You're the Capricorn. All right.
Mark, I think we could go on and
We could go
on, and
on
with
and on.
this because it's so interesting, but we're winding up on our time. So I just, out of curiosity, show of hands, how many of you have believed in something like this before you came here today? All right, and how many of you have your minds been kind of made up that maybe there's something to it? Yeah, just about all of you. All right, well, if you would like to see Mark in person, he'll be at the Spirit Quest Center in Spring tonight. He'll do readings and host a book signing. Things get underway at 7 p.m. at the Spirit Quest Center. For more on Mark Anthony, the psychic lawyer, you can log on to greatdayhouston.com. All right, so I'm going to put you to the test here. There's something that's going to be happening in Houston in the next few weeks. What could it possibly be? Let's see how good he is.
I'm tasting barbecue. I'm seeing cowboys. We're in Texas. and I'm smelling livestock. Wait, I think it's the Houston Livestock and Rodeo.
Very good. Very good. Very good. Well, Mark has to boot, scoot, and boogie out of here, but coming up next, just in time for rodeo, we'll show you how to put your best foot forward with the latest designs in cowboy boots.